So hello everyone, welcome back. This is HD Quality back with another video. Today we are in Davao International Airport and we will be flying to Bohol-Panglao International Airport, one of the newer airports in the Philippines. Today we will be flying the Cebu Pacific Airbus A320neo. So now let's start up with our preliminary cockpit preparations. Let's check that our parking brake is set. Landing gear lever down. Wipers are both off. Weather radar is off. Engine masters 1 and 2 are both off and the selector is at mode norm. Batteries 1 and 2 check off. Batteries 1 and 2 are both above 25.5 volts. Now let's turn batteries 1 and 2 on. We will be turning on the external power. Now let's check the APU. The APU fire push button is in and guarded. Now let's test. Seems good. APU master switch on and APU start on. Now let's turn on the electronic flight bag on, or the EFB, which is the fly pad on the fly-by-wire Airbus A320neo. Now let's import our data from SimBrief, which I think I have just filed the flight plan quite earlier. Yep, and our estimated time of departure is at 6:55 UTC. We do not have data on our arrival airport, but we do on Davao. So once it's available, you can turn the external power off. And now let's set the cockpit lights as we require them. So for example, the displays. We want to increase the brightness on the displays, brightness on the MCDU, brightness on the ECAM upper display and the lower display. Okay, flaps check position. It's at 0. It's retracted. Now let's set all ADERS mode selectors to nav. 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 3, 2 actually. Our strobe should be set to auto. Beacon should be off. Seatbelts on. No smoking, auto. Emergency exit lights will be armed. Our landing elevation is at auto. Our ECAM electric page, let's select that. Engine fire test. And engine 2. Looks good. Let's go ahead and start to set up our MCDU. Okay, everything is initialized, so let's go on our MCDU, ATSU, AOC menu, initialization, and request the data. Oh, there we go. So RPMD to RPSP, looking good. Next thing we want to do is start our boarding. So we're going over here to the EFB, door, and then passengers, and then baggage. Let's go to the initialization. Of course, request. Looks all good. Cost index of 1.5. Our cruising altitude is flight level 280 at a temperature of negative 40 degrees. So let's go ahead and set that here. 280 or 28,000 feet. Now onto our flight plan for Davao. Let's check our departure, taking off at runway 5. Now let's check the flight plan, which should be here, and see our departure, which is NKIN 3R. There. Insert that, and that looks good. And then for Panglao, I think we'll be arriving at runway 4 at 4:01 p. Okay. 4:01 p. And insert. Return. Let's go ahead and let's start the boarding. OFP request send. And boarding start. Yeah. I've set it to have faster boarding, and we have boarding music also, which is cool. Makes you feel at home, right? I'll load in 16th. There we go. So we're boarding all the passengers right now. Okay, it seems that our boarding is finished. Let's go ahead and disconnect the passengers and the door. Baggage is all good. We'll wait for the cargo door to close, but let's go ahead and lock the front door. And on the next page, fuel planning and block confirm. Looks good to me. Nice. Is 33 degrees Celsius, so 33. Then we can auto place these. 127 at V1, VR is at 128, and V2 at 132. Nice. Next phase, looks good, looks good, looks good. We do not have the QNH or the temperature of the of Panglao, unfortunately. Altimeter, let's set it to the local, which is 1007. 007. Thrust levers, check idle. Engine 1 and 2 master switches are check off. Engine mode selector, check norm. Transponder mode, turn it to auto. System selector is at 1. Squawk code is set. We're not gonna use our squawk code. And our TCAS is at standby. All doors on the aircraft are closed. Now let's call in for the pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
If you bleed, releasing parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
All engine pumps
Commencing
on.
pushback. You
I
can
feel
start
pumps.
the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Ignition start. Engine master 2 is on.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to your cabin crew, who will demonstrate the safety features of this
Let's also make sure that our beacon lights are on, wing lights are on.
To fasten, push ends together. Tighten seatbelt by pulling loose end. To unfasten, lift top of buckle.
Let's also turn the
and pull
chronometer
the end to
since we
release.
just turned on our
In case
engine.
of water landing, your
Let's
life
check that our
vest is
engine,
found under
once our
the
engine is
seat.
stabilized,
Shut objects from your body. To don, slip vest over the head.
we're gonna set the parking brake.
To release air.
Parking brake set.
Automatically
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
is immersed in water.
Now that we've reached a stabilized,
Ground. You may disconnect.
Please be
Okay, sir. Cleared to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side.
Starting.
Have a good flight.
And is punishable.
Engine
Holding
master
position,
1
waiting
on.
for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Oxygen masks will automatically drop from the compartments above you. Immediately grab the mask and pull it towards you. Put it over your nose and mouth. Pull elastic band sideways for snug fit.
I'm gonna set this to auto.
Own mask first before assisting others. Keep it on.
Set this to TARA and on. Once we get stabilized here, turn it back to norm. I'm not gonna start moving until everything's all good. CPU bead and master off.
In case of emergency evacuation, follow the lights that will lead you to the exits. For further information, please emergency exit signs found in the cabin. The location of the nearest exit may be behind you.
Let's set our parking brake. Let's arm the spoilers. Set flaps to takeoff configuration. Set auto brake to max. Landing lights on. Nose to takeoff. Runway turn off. What else? Let's check the cabin. Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff. Okay, release parking brake and slowly spool up the engines. Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. Here we are climbing for flight level 280. We've got a long way ahead of us. Our next point is at Nibat. This is your captain speaking. We are now climbing to our cruising altitude. Once we reach it, I will be turning the seatbelt sign off. Thank you. We have reached 10,000 feet, runway turn off light off, landing lights off, nose lights off, and I'll be back when we reach our cruising altitude. Let's pull this to standard also. We are just about to reach our cruising altitude of flight level 280. So now that we're at a cruising altitude, seatbelt sign can go off. Hello everyone, this is your captain speaking. As you may have noticed, the seatbelt sign has been turned off, meaning that you can get up and out of your seat to use the lavatory and whatsoever. But while you are in your seat, please have your seatbelt fastened in case of any unexpected turbulence. Thank you for flying Cebu Pacific. Update: we are now near Cagayan de Oro. There seems to be an issue with the simulator and with the new Panglao airport. I was confused, but we should have started descending a while ago. So now we're gonna go down to 10,000 feet. Let's turn the seatbelt sign on. Hello everyone, this is your captain speaking. As you have noticed, I have turned the seatbelt sign on. As we start our descent into Bohol-Panglao Airport, we might be a little bit delayed due to an error in the cockpit. I hope you understand, and thank you for flying CEBU Pacific. Always be with you. There must be a navigation issue with that airport since it's new. A little bit more to the right now. Too slow. Too high.
500, 400, 300, 200, 100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just landed at Bohol-Panglao Airport. CEBU Pacific Air welcomes you to Panglao Island. On behalf of your flight crew, headed by Captain Harrison Richard Deitch, and the rest of the team, we thank you for choosing CEBU Pacific as your airline of choice. We hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Okay, parking brake set. You must switch and start. Green the off. Wait for the ATT label. So ahead and turn seatbelt sign off. Engine Master 2 off and Engine Master 1 off. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.